Hello. Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Excellent. Hi, Gareth. How are you?
Hi, Mike. Yeah, good, thanks.
Good. Yeah. I'll start with this. Obviously, your first taste of a derby as Manchester City women's manager. How are you feeling ahead of it?
Yeah, feeling good, feeling confident. It's it's going to be a great weekend. Obviously, all of the games being shown and staggered at various times, celebrating Women's Football Weekend. And ours is obviously one of the pick of the ties, and it's something that we're geared up for and really looking forward to.
Obviously you've been building and progressing as a team throughout. What could a derby win really do for your season?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for us, especially to go within 2 points. They've made a good start to the season in the WSL. They've hung on in there. They've had some good results, and they're at the top of the league. So, for us, I think it's a real good opportunity to go there on Saturday, put on a good performance, stay in the game, and make sure we try and come away with the 3 points. So yeah, I think it's important. But every game is this season,
Is this something we need to do?
Absolutely. Ellen, for you, obviously, you take on United this time with them top of the table and possibly favourites. Does that impact the way you approach a game? It's all not quite underdogs because of the strength of Manchester City women, but United will be looked at because they are top.
I think that's fine if everyone wants to put them as the favourites. For us, we concentrate on what we can do, how we can perform, the intensity of our play, and obviously wanting to win 3 points. But we'll be really diligent and professional in the way that we approach the game. It's a massive game. It's a Manchester derby, so it's a massive game for us, and we're really excited by it. We've had a really good training week and can't wait for the game, really. But yeah, our preparation doesn't change. It stays the same, and we just look forward to the game and hopefully putting on a really good performance.
And can I ask you about your reaction to the comments made by Greg Clark this week, obviously as an England international yourself under the FA, and whether you've spoken with your teammates or not, but what did you make to some of those comments that were raised by him earlier this week?
Well, I think they're unacceptable, and they shouldn't be spoken in football, to be honest, or any time. So it was the right decision for him to step down, and we've got to look to the future now of educating and moving forward to eradicate these comments. Really, it was unacceptable.
Thank you both. I'll let someone go from here, but best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. We'll go for Ben Ransom next. Ben, I'll just pop you on.
Thanks, Emma. Hi, both. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Oh, there's a nice, beautiful photo of me looking great. Ellen, can I just pick up on something Mike was asking you about there on those comments from Greg Clark? And I suppose the question to follow up naturally would be, does it highlight how far football still has to go, I guess, in this quest for equality and inclusion?
Yeah, of course. I think, again, I'll say again that, the comments were unacceptable, and I think everyone needs to be educated on the way that, we need to speak, and, definitely against everything that he said, really. So it's all about being educated even when you're at the top, and also throughout kind of football and the grassroots and everyone, the way that we speak, and I think that's really important, to be educated in those matters.
And how big an opportunity is this now for the FA to potentially appoint a diverse candidate?
Yeah, I think it's a massive opportunity to highlight more diversity within the whole FA, and I think it will be a really important appointment to who comes in next. But I think it will be really, really important to have more diversity within the whole FA, really.
Gareth, can I pick up on that as well with you? What's the main criteria you'd like to see from the incoming person at the top of the FA? You've been in the game a long time.
Well, I suppose just someone who's fair and someone who's going to fight for these rights and fight for the equality. I think I've been blown away by the people within the sport who really want to take this to the next level, and it rightly deserves that. You know, there's a lot of people putting a lot of hard work in, and unfortunately, you know, we've had some comments that have kind of gone against the grain a little bit with that, particularly about the goalkeepers, which I thought was, considering the amount of quality that we've seen more recently in the last few weeks from the goalkeepers in the women's game, is a bit concerning. But yeah, I just want someone who's fair and someone who's going to fight for the equality, and to make sure that, you know, we're getting really well considered, and we're fighting hard like we are this weekend. And there's a hell of a lot of people working tremendously hard to make sure that the women's game is celebrated this weekend. And I think the amount of exposure is increasing month by month, and this is the way the game's going.
And how big a challenge do you think it is reforming the FA in a wider sense? We've spoken to a number of former chairmen this week who have told us about particularly the makeup of the FA Council and the fact that it is still predominantly white men, middle-aged men who run it.
I mean, again, you know, it's obviously something that he's looking at. But what I will say is, you know, there are some really good people working at the FA. There's obviously been some hardship with COVID, and a lot of good people have lost their jobs. There's been a bit of a restructure there, and they're obviously looking to look at how they can improve things going forward. But from my own experiences in general, you know, the FA are trying to fix some of these issues that we're talking about. So hopefully that can continue in the future.
On this weekend's game, Ellen was quite happy to let Manchester United go into this match as favourites. How do you see it?
Favourites, underdogs. I mean, we've been in that position before. You know, everyone's opinion would be different on that. Potentially on seeing them doing quite well in terms of winning games in the league and only dropping 2 points so far. But that's up to other people to decide. Like Ellen said, we'll control the controllables, make sure we focus on what we do. And the way I see it is a real good opportunity to put 3 points on the board for ourselves and start to really close in on those top places.
The last time I spoke to you, Gareth, was after that win over Liverpool, and you said you were still looking for your team to click into gear, still hit what you want them to do, and obviously you followed up with a very impressive win over Bristol City. So are they getting closer? Are you almost there yet?
Well, I mean, look, sometimes you don't get the rewards for the positive play that you produce, and sometimes you get them without actually earning it. I think if you look at the last 3 games, we had a tough week. We had a real emotional week as well with winning at Wembley. But I think it was like 14 goals, 15 goals, something like that, you know, in the 3 games, 3 against obviously Everton, 3 against Liverpool in the Continental Cup. And then going in and scoring 8 goals against Bristol at the weekend was, you know, that's something more like it. And I think we've been knocking on the door for that kind of lighting the blue touch paper, if you like, and really setting it off. And, you know, I don't see any reason why we can't go on and improve on that. I know it was a record score for the club at the weekend, but with this group of players and the talent that we have and the ability that we have, I wouldn't be surprised if we went and beat that this season. It'd be a tough achievement, but it wouldn't surprise me at all.
And one final one for Ellen, if I may. We saw record crowds, didn't we, this time last year over this weekend? And given the stellar names on both sides of this particular fixture this time, could this have been the game that was one to break the record crowd for a WSL match if fans were allowed in, do you think?
Yeah, potentially. We were obviously, it was incredible to play at the Etihad kind of last season, and obviously for women's football weekend to have so many people go and watch the games, it would have been an incredible crowd, but unfortunately we can't quite have that. But hopefully we can have as many fans as possible watching the game at home, supporting at home. Obviously Gareth said that, you know, the games are all staggered, which is amazing, so, you know, everyone can view every game. So hopefully our fans can enjoy the match back home and be supporting us.
Thanks for your time both. Enjoy the occasion, won't you?
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Joe Curry, if we can bring it back over into some more football questions, that'd be great, guys. Thank you.
Hi, Ellen. I will start with you with a football-related question. The Manchester Derby is still a relatively new thing in women's football. How would you describe your relationship with Manchester United as a team?
we've had some good performances, not so good performances. The last time we played them was in the FA Cup last season, and obviously we won that game. But yeah, I think it's always an exciting one. Obviously, to have the Manchester derby now within women's football is amazing. And for us, it's all about getting the performance right and getting the 3 points. But yeah, it's a massive game. It's an exciting one, and it's amazing that now it's part of our calendar now, which is great.
Does the fact that they're top of the table add some extra spice, or does the game not really need any extra spice?
Probably doesn't need any extra spice, to be fair. No, obviously, yeah, we're obviously watching, the games that they've played previously. Obviously, they've had a really good start to the season, and we're concentrating on what we can do. Our performance, we've had a good training week. Obviously, we've come off the back of a tough week last week, obviously 3 games, but we put in some really big performances, scored a lot of goals, and I feel like we've got a really good momentum going forward now. So it's a massive game for us and a chance for us, like Gareth said, to put some points on the board and hopefully come away with those 3 points.
I imagine a lot will be made of the fact that the potential of 4 World Cup winners could play in this game. Have you spoken to Sam or Rose at all about how to play against Kristen and Tobin?
No, I haven't actually. To be honest, we're just all about us and winning. So I haven't asked them. Maybe that's a question I need to ask. But yeah, for us, we're just focusing on what we can do and how we can win the game, really. But yeah, there's no doubt that they've got some great players on their team as well. So it's going to be a challenging match for us. But we've got some very good players on our team. So it'll be a really good battle, and hopefully we'll come out winning.
Great, thanks, Helen. Gareth, just quickly, team news wise, how's everyone looking?
Yeah, looking good, Joe. Yeah, everyone's looking in good shape. We've got a solid squad outside of the kind of normal injuries that we've had. Everyone's looking good. Everyone's kind of knocking on the door. Everyone's looking really sharp in training. And it's obviously a great bit of decision making for me to be able to make in having a full squad to choose from.
A lot's been talked about in the last week that girls' academies have had to close and boys' academies haven't. Brighton said they want to get those open as soon as possible. Where does Man City sit on what you're doing with the girls' academies?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we're looking at that at the moment. It's we've had to take a step back from it. The girls were back in, played in a couple of games, but at the moment, just with the rules, we're following obviously government guidelines, and like I say, hopefully that changes sometime soon, because obviously everyone wants to get back to doing what they really enjoy. And it's similar with most things at the minute, Joe. The same with the supporters. We're missing out on having the supporters there, especially at a weekend like this. The weekend we had a couple of weekends ago at Wembley, it's kind of a little bit bittersweet when we haven't got our family, friends and loved ones and obviously our great supporters with us. But again, we have to trust what the government is asking us to do. And like I say, hopefully things change soon for the better.
Thank you. Best of luck.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Chris Hall, please.
Hello there. Yeah, a question for Ellen. Just to follow up on that, I just wondered what your thoughts were on the fact that girls' academies are perhaps not all of them opening, whereas a lot of the boys' ones have been able to. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously it's disappointing, but like Gareth said, we've got to go with what the government are saying at the moment and just hope that they'll be back playing and training soon. But yeah, it's obviously sad that they can't enjoy football and the social aspect and being together as a team. And yeah, it is really disappointing. But yeah, we've got to look at the health and safety of everyone and hopefully sooner rather than later we can get everyone back training and loving football.
And speaking of disappointing, it must be disappointing for any Manchester City staff member or fan to see United at the top of the table at the moment. But how important is it for the women's game generally to have this rivalry as strong as this with both Manchester teams competing at the top of their game?
Yeah, I think it's a great rivalry, and to now have it within the women's game as well is incredible. So hopefully we can put on a big performance. But yeah, it's a great rivalry to have. Really competitive game. Obviously, we would love to have fans and supporters and family and friends be able to come and watch that game. But hopefully they can support back home. But yeah, it's a great derby, a really exciting game, and hopefully it'll be amazing for all the spectators watching back home.
as a City player, does it knock you a bit to see United at the top, or do you not look at the table often?
To be fair, I don't look too much, to be fair. We just concentrate on what we can do and the controllables that we can control, really. And, you know, hopefully we can, get the 3 points at the weekend and push up the table, really. So, we're just concentrating on what we can do and getting as many points as possible in the league.
And part of Women's Football Weekend as well, it's a great occasion, a great opportunity to showcase the sport again. Do you welcome these kind of occasions?
Yeah, of course, it's incredible. Last year we got so many fans out watching and supporting, and so much coverage, so much visibility of women's football. And again, this weekend, every game's being staggered, every kickoff's been staggered, so there'll be a great chance for so many fans to be able to watch back home and support every team within the league and also the championship. So it's a really exciting weekend to really push women's football in the limelight, and have a little bit more visibility as well for women's football for everyone back home.
Brilliant. And a quick one for Gareth as well. Thanks, Alan. Just your thoughts on the occasion of the Manchester derby, how much you're looking forward to it. It seems a strange question when there can't be the fans and the atmosphere in there that there has been in the past, but how much are you looking forward to this occasion? Sorry, that's for Gareth.
Sorry, Chris. Great occasion, one that I'm really looking forward to. I think it's a good game for us. Like you say, they're currently at the top at the moment, but there's no medals in November, as far as I'm aware, unless they've changed the rules. So there's plenty more opportunities to come this season. Teams are going to take points off of one another. There'll be some really important games and some important moments. And this is a big one at the weekend, and one that we're really looking forward to.
Brilliant. Thanks very much to both of you. Have a good game.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Bradley Hayden from TalkSport, please.
Hi there, Gareth. This first question is for Gareth. Just to touch on what's already been spoken about in terms of the derby as well. How important do you think it is for the WSL in terms of helping to grow the league worldwide and get more of a worldwide fan base behind it as well? How important do you think it is that this league has these sort of rivalries like this?
Well, I think it's great. I think it's really great. But I think there's real good coverage at the moment. I've seen a big change even since I've started the job. Particularly, I've always been a big fan. I'm fortunate enough in my previous role to really see from close hand the amount of change that was happening in the women's game. In terms of the professionalism, in terms of the quality of pitches, in terms of the exposure. So I've seen, even within starting the job within the first few months, that's also really rising. And again, this is a great weekend, real focus on the women's game. And, we have the unfortunate part where the supporters can't share that with us, which would have made it extra special. But, I think the fact that the games are being staggered, people can watch. And I'm sure, our supporters will be cheering us on from home.
And as a coach as well, is this kind of a game that you dream of one day being involved in as well? Yeah.
I mean, there's no better. I was fortunate enough to play in quite a few derbies at various clubs, and coaching wise, this is what you want to be involved in. You want to be involved in a game with your city rivals, and it's the big occasions, and again, just one that I'm really looking forward to.
And you mentioned the coverage earlier in terms of the staggered kickoff times and the fact that all games are going to be free to air for people to watch, etc. How important is it that incentives like these are kept up to help grow the game worldwide?
Yeah, again, I hope it's not just a flash in the pan. I hope it continues. Like I say, I've been really excited about the amount of change that we've seen so far in the exposure. And again, hopefully that continues to play a part in the future.
And a couple of quick questions for Ellen, if I may. You're an experienced professional now, and this game is a huge game. Obviously, we know the rivalry between the two sides. From a player's side of things, what's the mindset going into this game?
Obviously, it's a really exciting game, and it is a derby game, so it's like extra spice added to it. But we're we're trying to be as professional as we can be in terms of the same preparation, and going into the game, you know, concentrate on what we can do, how we can perform. But yeah, it's obviously a really exciting game to be involved in as well as a player, to play in a Manchester derby. So yeah, I think our preparation remains the same, but yeah, there's no going away from how exciting a game it is, and yeah, we can't wait for it really.
And when the fixtures came out at the start of the season, was this one of the first ones that you kind of looked for?
Yeah, it's always one that you look out for, because it is such a great game and a great spectacle to be involved in. Yeah, like Gareth said, you know, it's a shame that we can't have people, spectators and family and friends, come to the stadiums to watch the game, but you know, hopefully they can support back home. But yeah, it's definitely one you look out for and search for, and yeah, can't wait for when it comes up really.
And lastly, you mentioned about the fans there and the fact that they're not going to be able to attend this game. From a player side of things, what's it been like in terms of playing in empty stadiums? And, you know, this weekend, how much are the fans going to be a miss? Because, you know, we'd be looking forward to what normally would have been, you know, a real atmosphere and potentially close to a sellout crowd too. Yeah,
definitely. We do miss having our fans, the atmosphere, the noise. But, you know, we've had to adapt a little bit and get used to playing in the empty stadiums. But that's just something that we have to get used to in the times that we're in at the moment. So yeah, we can't wait to when fans can come back and support and be back in stadiums and giving us that extra push. But for now, yeah, hopefully everyone can support back home, and you know, we definitely feel that support, and hopefully we can put on a big performance at the weekend for them.
Thank you guys, best of luck.
Thank you.